Let's talk about this embarrassment of an article written by CBR.com. You know what burns my biscuits? The fact that websites like CBR.com, Screen Rant, We Got This Covered, all these websites never gave a damn about Dragon Ball. They never cared about Dragon Ball until Super came out and got popular. That's the only time they started doing articles on Dragon Ball. And they were covering stuff for years. And they never, ever got into Dragon Ball until it got popular. So this whole thing is a big cash grab. Not just that, but also I found out from somebody who used to work at Screen Rant, who I was going to debunk one of his articles, but he clarified to me what happened. What they do at Screen Rant is they find people to write articles about Dragon Ball who aren't even Dragon Ball fans. So that person has to go and find information out on the internet, and guess where they go? They go to Facebook, or they go to Reddit, or they go to Dragon Ball Wiki, which gets things wrong. Or they watch the series themselves. Or a lot of times, they're not even like really hardcore fans. They just watch Dragon Ball Z when it was on Toonami and do everything based off of memory. So these articles, these writers don't even like really understand Dragon Ball on that level to be writing articles about this. Now, I want to clarify. There's nothing wrong with being a casual fan. There is nothing wrong with being a casual fan of Dragon Ball. I'm not like those elitists who think you have to be an expert. I'm not that kind of guy. Maybe I used to be years ago, but I'm not that guy anymore. However, if you're going to write articles and, produce content on Dragon Ball, shouldn't it be a good idea to know what you're talking about? Right? Shouldn't you at least know what's going on? And this article has so many problems. There's so many things wrong with this article, and it proves my point. Now, I'm not saying that CBR does what Screen Rant does, where they hire people who aren't really fans to write stuff about Dragon Ball, but it seems like they do. Why King Cold preferred Frieza over Cooler? Dragon Ball Z introduced the villainous brothers Frieza and Cooler. Why did their father King Cold always spoil one over the other? First of all, it is never stated that King Cold spoiled Frieza more than Cooler. That's never stated. The only time that was ever maybe implied that Frieza was spoiled is in Dragon Ball Super Broly when King Cold gave Frieza the Empire. But that's because Frieza had become of age, and probably because Frieza may have earned it. We don't even know why. They never clarify why off screen. But I did some research on this, because I'm like, wait a minute, what is he talking about? When did they state that King Cold preferred Frieza over Cooler? Because Cooler's only in the movies. He's not in the manga. He's not in any of the he's not in the TV anime. He's only in the movies. Right? And it turns out that it was in the dub. So once again, these guys that write these articles don't even take 2 seconds to cross-reference the dub with the Japanese version to see whether or not a line is in there. Now listen, I don't care if you like the dub. The Cooler movie dub has an atrocious and ridiculously bad script.
Father always spoiled you rotten, you little brat.
It's a really bad script.
Father always spoiled you rotten, you little brat.
And all the stuff they put out back then had terrible scripts. The Cooler movie, the Lord Slug movie, the Bardock and Trunks specials, they would go in there and they would change story points and take stuff out and put stuff in from the Japanese version, therefore confusing fans like this article has proven. There's a line in the Cooler movie where he's sitting down on the throne, and this is in the this is in the dub only, where he says, "Father always spoiled Frieza, or always preferred Frieza over me." And it's like, well, that's what he said, "Father always preferred Frieza over me." That line is not in the Japanese version. I didn't even hear it when I saw the dub because the damn rock music was so loud that you couldn't even hear what Cooler was saying. And I had to go back and check to figure out that that's what he said. So first of all, it's a dub-only line. So this entire article has already fallen apart. The entire article is completely fallen apart because that line's only in the dub. And the dub is trash, especially back then. Back then, the dub was trash. The script, that is. So he goes on to go into this, like, I'm not going to read the entire article for y'all, but he goes on to talk about how King Cold preferred his younger son even though Cooler was more powerful, which again makes no sense because he never said that. It was only in the dub. And King Cold himself never said that. It was Cooler who said that. And then he talks about what qualities did Cooler possess to let him fall out of King Cold's favor. So the remainder of the article is complete headcanon. He just makes stuff up completely out of his ass. He goes into Dragon Ball Z canon here, which I hate when these articles do that because right when I hear somebody say the word canon, I'm already thinking they have no idea what they're talking about, and I was right. He says that it's hard to determine how much of what Cooler says should be taken into consideration. Well, the answer is none, because he's only said in the dub. But he says the film should take place immediately after the Frieza saga, but before the King Cold's arrival on Earth. That's impossible because King Cold arrived on Earth with Frieza before Goku did, buddy. How could it have taken place before King Cold's arrival on Earth if Goku was already on Earth, homeboy? King Cold and Frieza arrive, Trunks kills them, then Goku arrives. And Goku's in the movie already. And Master Roshi says, I'm glad you're back from Namek. The only place this movie can fit is during the 3-year skip after Trunks leaves before 19 and 20 show up. That is the only place this movie could possibly fit. And it still kind of doesn't, but that's the only place it could fit, right? Most Dragon Ball fans know that, not this guy. And he talks about how Cooler believed that Goku killed Frieza rather than Frieza being rebuilt by his father slain by Trunks. So he himself talks about how Trunks freaking killed him. Did you even forget that point? And he even talks about how Goku wasn't on Earth at the time. So it's like, why'd you even say that at the beginning of the article? Like, the guy contradicts himself in his own sentence, all right? Then he talks about how he talks about how King Cold goes out of his way to rebuild Frieza while allowing Cooler to return as Metal Cooler. First of all, King Cold did not allow Cooler to do anything. Cooler didn't become Metal Cooler until much later. It wasn't until after the 3-year skip, because Vegeta is Super Saiyan when he's Metal Cooler. And Vegeta was not Super Saiyan until after Trunks left. Until Vegeta achieved Super Saiyan during those 3-year gap, right? The one between the Trunks leaving and the androids coming. So Cold had nothing to do with Cooler at all. And he says he offers Cooler no help. And he's like, well, Cooler, he should have helped Cooler. And it's like, dude, Cooler didn't become Metal Cooler until after King Cold was already dead. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and this is the problem. And then again, the Planet Trade Organization. Whenever somebody says Planet Trade Organization, that phrase was never used in the dub or in the sub. That was invented by Dragon Ball Wiki. That is a fan-made term. Whenever somebody uses that term in one of these articles, I immediately know that they went to Dragon Ball Wiki. They're not, like, they don't even follow the series. Like, these articles are all copy-paste bullshit. It's all the same bullshit from these people. So, he goes on to talk about how comparing Frieza to Cooler. He says, well, the reason why King Cold might have preferred Frieza is that he seemed to accomplish more than Cooler. Yeah, that's true. He did accomplish more than Cooler. So that answers the question. If he did prefer Frieza, that could be one way, but Cooler was also a different guy. I don't think King Cold cared. Plus, how do we know that in the Cooler timeline that King Cold didn't just give half his empire to Frieza and the other half to Cooler? We don't know that. Like, we don't know the details of that. Because the movie, many fans would say, is not canon. So because of that, King Cold, like, Cooler does not exist in the main Dragon Ball timeline. So if you're trying to spend time trying to explain it, you're just going to fall apart because you can't. Like, it's a movie, Toriyama never even thought about Cooler. Now, if Cooler gets rebooted into a new movie or a new series, then they might retell the story. But until then, we don't have that. So he talks about how Cooler's armored squadron were the only people loyal to him. That's possible. And he talks about Cooler accomplished everything based on his own efforts. Frieza was given power by his father. We don't know all that. We don't know if Cooler we don't know that. You're just making that up. And, like, again, these articles just make shit up. And then here's the next section. King Cold spoiled Frieza because he was younger. You don't know that. You just made that up. You just made that up. It's a stereotype with parents. Okay, maybe, but this is Dragon Ball. Like, they don't follow every stereotype. Like, these articles are so trash, bro. It's like, dude, like, cover something you know about. Like, I know they're paying you, but it's like, bro, like, do a little bit more research. Ask some real fans. Like, reach out to some people. Don't just go to Dragon Ball Wiki and just copy paste what they say, or just watch the dub without cross-referencing the sub. Like, you have to do that, because then you make articles like this, Anthony Grimulgia or whatever. Oh, look, it says he wrote for, look at this, he's written for the Mary Sue, I don't know what that is, Screen Rant. What did I tell you? It's all the same shit, yo. It's all the same shit. The Anime Feminist. I don't know what that is, but that scares me. The Gamer and Vocal. All right. Well, Anthony Gramuglia, you should stop writing about Dragon Ball, bro. No offense. I'm sure you're a nice guy. Do a little bit more research because this article is straight trash. And you're basing the entire article off of a dub line. It's just garbage. If you want me to do more debunks of articles, hit the like button and leave a comment telling me so. And we'll move on and I'll explain more of why these articles are terrible because they really look, again, nothing wrong with being a casual Dragon Ball fan. That's fine. Not everybody knows everything. It's cool. But to write these articles and get paid and then they make money and you're spreading misinformation, dog, just do a little bit more research. It ain't that hard. It's not that hard to do this, yo. It really isn't. We'll talk soon. Have a great day. Take care of yourself.